Welcome back to another Long Way Home episode, everyone. Today we are here with the R1300GS Adventure from BMW. You are going to be seeing this video sometime in the middle of October, I think. This bike has not been launched yet. This is a closed event. Unfortunately, we cannot ride it. But that doesn't mean I can take a sneak peek around it and see what the Germans have been up to. Now, the first thing that stood out to me the first time I got to be next to this bike was actually how low it was compared to all of the press photos that I got to see. In all of the press photos, this thing looks humongous. It looks like a rhino, but again, I am 1.8 meters tall, 5'11", and the top side of it comes up to my belly here. Apart from the fact that it literally does seem lower and lower than the 1250 outgoing, the 1250GS Adventure, moving it around, and I have just moved around that 1250, you can film that 1250 Adventure over there. This one over here feels not a lot. I'm not going to say a lot. It's not a difference like from heaven and hell, but it feels a little bit snappier to actually, or easier to maneuver in a garage, in a parking lot, or whatever. It's a big, imposing bike, and I think BMW they've obviously recognized that, but they've also recognized that people are buying it, and to make it easier for them to actually maneuver it around and not be scared of its height and all of its weight, they've done all of this trickery, like all of the design language, to make everything more compact over here. Making it a little bit lower, making the center of gravity lower, adding the adjustable suspension so that even if you are a short rider, you're not going to feel intimidated by it. I think they've done quite a bit so that you can feel comfortable on it. If you take a look at it from the front, ignoring the big Robocop helmet, this is basically the 1300GS. The same design. You've got the matrix LED light here, you've got the 4 DRLs, you've got the radar unit, and a whole bunch of extra wind protection. I don't remember this little piece being on this one being on the standard GS. The windshield now is not manually adjustable anymore. It's all electronic. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll have to see. BMW is marketing the Adventure model as its mile muncher of the world. It's a go around the world bike. It's not necessarily the off-road oriented model of the GS lineup. They're keeping that for the smaller GS for obvious reasons. It's smaller, it's lighter, it's easier to handle off-road. But from all of the questions that I've been getting from you guys, you're very interested about the weight of it and how it handles, because you do want to take it off-road. And you know what? You're kind of my kind of guys, because my 1200 Adventure has never actually stopped me from going off-road, because it's the Adventure version. I had the standard GS version, handled pretty much the same. Staying with the styling of the bike, we've obviously got the big 1300 Boxer over here. I'm very happy to see that they included a very big skid plate this time, unlike the 1250 and the 1200. The middle part of the bike with the engine and the chassis all built into one now, with the gearbox underneath it, exactly the same as on the 1300. It's a very compact unit built specifically for the GS line. All of that was designed with the idea from BMW to actually keep the weight down on the bike, because they are inherently very big bikes. And the piece de la résistance on it is this. I mean, look at it. It's a big, beautiful rhino of a bike. Little tiny exhaust. I'm sure, it has to do with weight, but if you double it and add a kilogram BMW, nobody's gonna mind. It just looks puny, and you can get the aftermarket a crap of which one, but why not make the standard one fit in with the rest of the bike? That's all I'm saying. If the front part of the chassis that keeps the engine and the front part of the bike together is made out of sheet metal, the subframe is made out of aluminium, obviously carries on all the way to the back. It is bolt on. Speaking about the elephant or the rhino in the room, wet weight of this bike is 269 kilograms. It is actually 32 kilograms more than the standard GS, but then again you get 10 extra liters of fuel, so it's actually just 22 kilograms more than the standard GS. And with all of its electronics and technology and all of its all of the updates that BMW has put on it, it's actually only 1 kilogram heavier than the outgoing 1250 GS Adventure. Now, I'm always one to advocate for less weight on any iteration of a bike that we see. 1 kilogram, however, with all of the stuff they've added on it, nobody's going to feel that. You're not going to feel that. I don't think it's going to make any sort of a difference. This specific model doesn't come with it, but BMW has introduced their automatic gearbox, let's call it that, their ASA. This one still got the standard lever, which you can obviously order it with that if you want. But if you want an automatic gearbox, from now on, it'll be pretty much like Honda's DCT. The bike will change gears for you. Apart from that, you've also got an option to change the gears manually, even if you do have the ASA system installed. I have to read now because there's lots of numbers. Seat height. This is standard is 870 millimeters to 890 millimeters, which is what this one is. And again, I am 1.8, 5'11", and pretty much this is how I can flat-foot it right now at a standstill. It's pretty comfortable. It's exactly what you would expect from a GS. So is the riding position. Nothing pretty major has changed here. One of the tricks that the Adventure has up its sleeve is its adaptive ride height. You might have heard about this before in the Harley Pan America, where when you come to a stop, you can actually lower the bike so you can flat-foot it easier. This is kind of the same system. It lowers it by 30 millimeters, quite a bit, but unlike the Harley, it actually does it automatically. So when you come to a stop, it will sense your speed, it will start lowering it. So when you reach a full stop, you'll be 30 millimeters lower. Obviously, you can change all of this in the setting. On top of that, if you are a short rider, BMW hasn't forgotten you. Obviously, why would they? They come up with a specific add-on just for you. It's a big name, Optional Adaptive Vehicle Height Control Comfort System for smaller riders. What this means is that you can get a factory lowered seat by 20 millimeters, basically making the Adventure, this big rhino looking thing, an 820 to 840 seat height. That's pretty low even for short riders. So you can spec it up any way you want to. If you're a short rider, medium rider, tall rider, I'm sure you can sit on it comfortably for many kilometers. Suspension on the front, you've got 210 millimeters of travel. That is 20 more than the standard GS, 2 more centimeters of travel than the standard GS. That usually happens on all of the Adventure bikes. They have longer suspension travel. The rear as well, 220 millimeters. Let me make sure of that. 220 millimeters, which is also 20 millimeters more than the standard GS. One of the things that I really don't appreciate from BMW, and they could have done something to change it because they do have the technology, I have seen it on the RT at least, is the TFT. It's the same TFT as it's from 2017. We're going to be stuck with this for probably another couple of years until the facelift. The whole bike, again, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, this specific model, we're probably going to be stuck with it another 10 years, just like we were with the 1200 and the 1250. There will be a facelift coming, and I really hope that TFT gets changed to something that can use CarPlay and not have this cradle over here and actually have something useful. New on the 1300, we have the front radar now and a rear radar. Some of these are optional, so it depends how you spec it. You can get it to be adaptive cruise control, but BMW will also offer front-end collision on it. So if it thinks that you are about to hit something, it will alert you. I'm not sure if it will break or not. We'll have to test that, but it will alert you. The rear radar, I think that's a bit more interesting. Not more, it's interesting. The rear radar is your blind spot monitoring as well, but they've also added the same functionality like they did with the front one with a rear collision warning. So what this means is that if the bike senses that there is a car coming too fast, the only thing that it can do, and it will do that, it will flash the hazard lights at a much higher frequency to alert whoever's coming up too fast from behind you that they need to stop. That would be a good idea. Stop. Flash. Okay, other standard gear that comes with this bike, and I'm gonna have to read this because it's a little bit. USB port, that's in this little cubby hole over here. It'll also be in the boxes. I haven't seen the boxes yet, so we're not gonna talk about that. But they also will have USB charging ports in there. 12-volt socket, an SOS button. That's for certain markets, not for Romania, unfortunately. Tire pressure monitoring system, heated grips, not heated seats. Those will be an optional, and keyless ignition. So gone are the days where you've got everything on, including your gloves. Where's my key? It's up in my room. So it's all keyless ignition now. Okay, bad part of the video, the price of the bike. I've run this through the BMW configurator. Starting price, base price, 21,200 euros. Where we live, that's all taxes included, and that is list price. So you're most probably going to be able to get some sort of discount from there. But top price, which is probably this bike, 27,600 euros. That is a lot of cash. And even that doesn't include any of the luggage, which you're most probably going to be needing if you're going to be doing any long distance touring or any of the protective crash stuff. So it's quite an expensive bike. All right, a full riding review of the 1300 GS Adventure should be coming soon when the bike is officially launched and we are allowed to ride it. For this video, however, if you've got any other questions that I can answer, having walked around it and played with it a little bit, then please, the comment section is the right place for you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.